Welcome this evening to the St. Lucie County School Board workshop meeting, September the 22nd, 2015. We've now called the meeting into order. Would you please stand with us for the Pledge of Allegiance directly after our Kids at Hope Treasure Hunters Pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. As an adult and treasure hunter, I am committed to search for all the talent, skills, and intelligence that exist in all children and youth. I believe all children are capable of success, no exceptions. You may be seated. I would like to remind our audience that if you desire to be an unscheduled speaker, you need to turn your forms in right away. You can find them in the back of the room. Please hand them over to Ms. Chris, which is on the far left of me, and we will be happy to recognize you at the appropriate time. Our vision for St. Lucie County Public Schools is that in partnership with this community and parents, we will become premier centers of knowledge that are organized around students and the work provided to them. Our name will be synonymous with the continuous improvement of student achievement and the success of each individual child. Our promise is to move from good to great, focusing on our core business, that business being the challenging, engaging, and satisfying work for every child every day. This is the St. Lucie County way. The board will now open and conduct our public hearing to receive comments on the consideration of Somerset Academy, Inc., application for replication of a chartered middle school in St. Lucie County School District. And before we open it to our audience for comment, we are going to ask our superintendent to please open us up with this at this time, please.
Thank you, Dr. Mills. Good evening, everyone, and see we have a large contingent of folks here tonight on this item, and want to welcome you to the school board meeting, and glad you're here, and especially for the students that are out there. You get a chance to see democracy in action at the local level, so we're really glad you're here. I want to make a couple of comments before we open this up to the public, just to clarify for the public what the role of the school board is and the superintendent with our recommendation. Number one, the board, our school board, are legal constitutional officers, and as such, they are obligated to follow state statute board policy when evaluating charter school applications. There's been some comments out there regarding that the school district may be anti-choice. Just the opposite. This school district and this board is very progressive with our choice policies. It's some of the most innovative and progressive that you'll find. There's also been some comments that the board may be anti-charter, and again, that's false as well. This school board has approved the applications most recently of Renaissance Tradition, Renaissance St. Lucie West, Palm Point K-8, and Imagine Now in Port St. Lucie within the past few years. In regard to tonight's application, this has nothing to do with the high school, with the high school itself, and I know we have several students that are here and some may speak, and the high school is a successful high school. It meets a need. It's doing, from what I understand, a very excellent job in educating our students. This deals tonight solely on the merits of the application for the middle school charter Somerset Middle School application. The district has met with the staff and had offered to extend the time of the application to see if we could correct some of the deficiencies and to find some common ground. Unfortunately, the Somerset staff declined that offer and decided that they'd come forward this evening to bring this forward this evening, as opposed to delaying it for 2 weeks to a month to see if, again, like I'd mentioned, we could find some areas that we could agree on. As I mentioned at the very beginning, Florida statute requires that all of the applications need to be reviewed by the school district where the charter school will be located and to evaluate whether the charter school application meets the statutory requirements and criteria. To assist the districts in this effort, the DOE, the Department of Education, has a mandated evaluation form. I'm explaining how this process works. So the school district receives the application, which they receive from Somerset Academy Incorporated, to open a middle school, which will be located on the same campus as the existing Somerset College Prep High School. However, the proposed middle school would be a separate standalone school. Somerset Academy Incorp is proposing to replicate an existing high-performing Somerset Academy Middle School located in Broward County. So based on a thorough review of the application, we have found several deficiencies in the application itself, but some more significant than others. Among the more significant ones are that the application failed to show how the proposed school would improve student learning and academic achievement through use of innovative learning methods as required by law. Secondly, there's no clear plan for serving students with disabilities at the proposed school or for serving students who have more than minimal disabilities as required by law. Thirdly, there's no clear plan or commitment for providing school bus transportation for all eligible students as required by law. Fourth, the proposed school is not substantially similar to the school to be replicated as required by law. Fifth, the staff at the school to be replicated will not be significantly involved with the proposed school as required by law. And then finally, the school's financial management practices do not comply with the law because there's no clear plan for describing how the governing board can effectively manage the school. The governing board does not have an arm's-length business relationship with the for-profit ESP and has delegated much of the day-to-day operations to the ESP. The proposed budget does not include funds to pay for staffing and operational plan outlined in the application, which means that many of the educational and operational services provided or proposed cannot be provided. And there's no viable backup plan for facilities if the construction of the new facilities are not completed prior to the start of school. So based upon this information and a thorough review, as late as yesterday morning, we spent 90 minutes with representatives from Somerset Academy in an attempt to possibly try to reach some resolution on this. Again, the offer was made to try to extend this out to 2 weeks to a month to see if we could do that. I really am left with no choice but to make a recommendation to the board this evening to deny this application based upon those reasons. And I wanted to state that publicly up front. And I also want to make it clear that this has no reflection on the high school whatsoever. I know students may want to come tonight and speak about how well the high school is run and how much it means to them and it's meeting a need, and we know that and get that. But that really, for tonight's process, that's really not what the relevant issue is. The issue tonight really is just the consideration of the application for the middle school. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Welcome. Welcome, Superintendent Gent. At this time, we have received over 30 unscheduled speaker request forms. So I'm going to ask the board if you are okay with us reducing those 3 minutes to 2 minutes tonight. I would like to have Ms. Erica keep the 3 minute, but everyone else 2 minutes. And also, if you have someone that can speak in behalf of a lot of these that are coming forward as requests to be unscheduled speakers. So if the board is okay with that, we will do 2 minutes instead of 3 minutes, or is there any type of discrepancy on that?
I don't mind giving them 3 minutes because some of these students might have had their speeches memorized or whatever, and for me it doesn't matter. But I would rather go with 3 minutes.
Okay, so are we good with the 3 minutes, or would we like to reduce it this evening?
You can also, if you choose, do like some other governments do and have a time certain, so it's like 60 minutes or whatever, if you prefer.
Okay, so, I think 60 minutes might be a little shorter amount, but I thought 2 minutes would be pretty good. Okay, it's my call, then I'm going to call 2 minutes per person. I'm going to ask our attorney if you would please keep those minutes for us. At this time, we will begin with Nancy Inacone. would you please come forward? I may mess up a little bit on these last names, but as you come to the podium, thank you for such a wonderful smile as you come to the podium. If you would please state your name and your address before you start. Okay, you're going to say it. You're going to say it over there on the thing. No. Good. Right there. Okay. Okay, and what we will do is, because we do have so many unscheduled forms, I'm going to call about 3 people up at one time. So if you would just stand behind Nancy and come right up after she completes it. Nancy, don't forget to give your name and address. And next would be Kathy Townsend and Jenny Tonley. Please help me out with your names as you come up and your address, please. Okay. Miss Nancy, you can begin.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Nancy Iannacone. I live at 2936 Southeast Santa Anita Street, Port St. Lucie, Florida. My daughter has transportation to and from school, which is about a 25-minute ride every day. Let me say thank you again for having the opportunity to speak. I am a registered voter and taxpayer in St. Lucie County. We as parents know what's best for our children, not the school district bureaucracy. I have a right as a parent to decide what educational environment is best for my child. And that is why I make the daily decision to send my child to Somerset College Preparatory Academy. Not only because it is an A-rated school with a safe environment, but more importantly because of its leadership and quality teachers. If you approve the middle school, I know the leadership and the quality teachers will remain the same. How do I know this? Well, because I know Miss Raines, the principal, and I know she will stand to her word. In conclusion, I just want to say the tax-paying and voting parents in this room tonight, and especially for those who could not attend, deserve a choice. If you deny this charter school application, you are denying hundreds of families a choice opportunity. Please do not deny our children, our future, the best educational choice. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Nancy. Miss Kathy, would you please come forward?
Good evening, Kathy Townsend. Mine's going to be very brief. I would just like to say that I know with the position that you all serve in, that you know that quality public schools is important and it has a great economic impact on the community. And I hear so often parents say that they'd like more educational choices, and a lot of them don't fit into the public schools that we have, and they are choosing to send them to charter schools. I have several friends that attend charter schools. And so I know that we have dedicated staff and teachers in this community, and I know that we have great schools here, but unfortunately there are also schools that are failing. And so for that reason, I'm here tonight to speak up to say that I support charter schools. I feel that they are needed in the community. They have a great economic impact in the community, and I would hope that you would vote yes in favor of this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kathy. Ms. Jenny?
Hello, my name is Janie Twombly, and I live at 3692 Southwest Sterricker Street in Port St. Lucie. I'm a taxpayer and a registered voter here in St. Lucie County. I have a daughter attending the Somerset College Preparatory Academy. She's a junior this year. When I moved here from Washington State, I was a little apprehensive about some of the public schools here, but I was very pleased and surprised to find out that I had a lot of choices: private school, charter schools, and we chose the charter school. I believe that the charter schools serve a good purpose for this community. You have a sign outside your double doors here that says quality schools are the responsibility of the entire community, and that is true. The more choices our children have, I think the better the education opportunities will be for them. Somerset College Preparatory Academy, of course, as you know, is an A-rated school. And I believe that if they were allowed to extend this to the middle school, that it would also be an A-rated school, because We have excellent teachers. The staff there and the principal there are very committed to their children. And so I have grandchildren and great-grandchildren that live here in Port St. Lucie, and I'd like to see them have a choice about the middle school that they attend, and that's why I'm here today asking you to approve our petition to add a middle school to our already established A-rated high school. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Janey. I will now call Carrie Johnson forward, please. Ralph Arza and Ms. Diamond, in that order. Please remember to give your name, full name, and address.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, board members. My name is Ralph Arza. I'm a former state representative here in the state of Florida that chaired Education Committee and was a part of writing a lot of the education laws, only the good ones. And I also was a part of charter school legislation. And I represent the Florida Charter School Alliance. It's a 501c3 nonprofit that's mission is to protect quality charter schools, to assist school boards when you need to close down the charter school that's not performing properly. Now, one thing that took place at that meeting yesterday that Mr. Gent mentioned was this is the first time that the school board or the school district in St. Lucie County hears a replication application. Why did the legislature pass this law? Because they felt that not all charters are the same. And if you have a high-performing charter school, both academically and financially, that we want to replicate those throughout the state of Florida. So we wanted to create a format to make it easier, not harder to be approved. At the meeting that I went yesterday and I participated, I felt that it was staff. I'm not going to question somebody's intentions because that would be wrong on my part. But I really felt that it was looking for a way to say no. And that's what I witnessed, you know, from the staff that I met with. And I think that that is wrong. Now, you guys are constitutional officers. I was one. And no, you can't be removed from office. That's a very sacred situation in our state. But when I swore to my oath of office like you did, is to defend all the laws. Not the ones I like or the ones I disagree with. And there's lots of people in different counties who have said, we're against charter schools. Well, that's great. You know, go to Tallahassee, get elected to the legislature, change the law. But the law in the state of Florida is that charter schools provide parents a choice. And that choice is not just a one-time choice, it's a daily choice because they want something differently. Charter schools only exist because parents like the ones you hear tonight want that for their child. And I would hope that you listen to what they're saying. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Arza.
Good evening. My name is Carrie Johnson, and I reside at 2473 Southeast Fruit Avenue in Port St. Lucie. I've been a resident of Port St. Lucie and St. Lucie County for 15 years, and I have 2 children in the St. Lucie County District. For the last 12 years, my oldest son has been on the wait list for Lincoln Park Academy. He's now a junior at Somerset College Preparatory Academy, and I am so glad that I found that school. All through middle school, we kept hoping and praying we'd get the call one day that he made it into that school. When high school came around, we were not pleased with our choices of where he could attend. So we researched and we found Somerset College Preparatory Academy. The teaching staff, they are there no matter what. They offer teaching sessions on the weekends if needed. They're a phone call or a text away if a student has questions. The leadership, the principal, Erica Rains, is always there, knowing the children by name, by knowing how they're doing. She's actively involved. If my child had the opportunity to start at the middle school level to get the type of education that he's receiving now, he'd be so much more prepared for the future. And our children are the leaders of tomorrow. And if the leadership that Erica Rains provides now can be the starting point for our children, that's what we need. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Carey. Mr. Diamond.
Greetings, School Board of St. Lucie County. My name is Diamond. I reside at 1056 Southwest Placitas Avenue. I'm an 11th grade student aspiring to be a mayor after I attend college. In regard to that, my scholarly achievements reflect my ambition. I cannot thank my school enough for giving me the opportunity to pursue my goal through my studies. Volunteering at political fundraisers, even as going as far as taking like-minded students and myself to Miami to attend a lecture hosted by the Leadership Institution, which has taught me more about politics than any public high school class can ever teach me. I'd like to clarify, I speak not of my experience to promote the high school, but to give an example of what this school could achieve for middle schoolers. Then, knowing that middle school gives another 3 years to have the experience that I had, it fills me with eagerness to get this program open, along with the new school building. If given the option to choose the school I'd like to attend, there's not a chance I'd take any other school than the one I'm attending now. The teachers, the staff knows the potential that I have and all the other students have, and everyone in here is in for their potential. If not, then they have the choice to leave. It is a choice school after all. And personally, my experience with the high school has not only taught me math, science, history, as a normal high school would, but it's also taught me leadership and charisma. It's given me experience with politicians, and it's let me travel to universities with the Science Olympiad team that has, on their first try, scored in the upper 50% of the competition. I'd love to see the middle school that we want to open to achieve the same medals, and thank you for the opportunity for letting me be up here.
Thank you, Mr. Diamond. Gary Montana, please come forward. Erica Raines. Chloe James Faulkner. And Brianna Zerger. Please, if you would come forward. Good evening, Ms. Raines.
Good evening, Dr. Mills. Thank you guys for having us here tonight. I appreciate the opportunity to speak before you. I'm Erica Raines. I live in Port St. Lucie. I want to address a few of the items that are on that summary sheet that you guys have, and I want to start with transportation because I know that is a huge issue, and I just want to clarify, we do currently provide transportation. I do have a 2-year contract which would take me into next year, and that is something that, and I will put it in writing tonight, we absolutely intend to continue to do that. We understand that this is a choice district, and the way that we do transportation in this district, we wouldn't have enrollment if we didn't otherwise. So I'm not sure how that became an issue, with the exception of maybe me saying that I wanted to survey the parents first. So for clarification purposes, I will continue to, and I have no problem putting that in writing. So the transportation piece, I just want to put that to rest. With regards to the financial part of it, we did submit a lender letter from Building Hope that shows a line of credit. The budget that we put together does not include the CSP grant because obviously that's not guaranteed. And we are part of the Somerset Inc. network, which does have its own standalone funding as well. So finances, I functioned our first year with 86 students at a high school level and still had my required 2.5% surplus, and I'm sure you've seen the financials from the last 2 years. We've done incredibly well under the same leadership, with the same backhouse provider, with the same Somerset Inc. The results of our financial management piece would be the same for the middle school as well. With regards to the ESC part of it, we currently have an agreed upon between the district and ourselves ESC plan in place that we do service our students, and the middle school would be no different. It would be at minimum what we currently have, and it would actually probably be a little bit more than that because as we go to the
2 minutes.
Right, and I believe I understood Dr. Mills to say that I might have 3.
Extension for her, okay. Please.
Thank you. I apologize, that took me off track. the ESE part, that with an increase in students, that those services would also increase, but at minimum would be what the district has already accepted at the high school level. We currently bring in PT, OT, speech. I contract out for all the services we're unable to provide in-house. We would continue to do that. So again, would be at minimum what we already have. And I hear you say that this has nothing to do with the high school, but I'd like to point out that the leadership at the proposed middle school is the same. The company, Somerset Inc., is the same. The back house provider is the same. The teaching staff is the same, I would add two, and that staff would only be the same quality that we currently have, as I am the one doing the hiring. So while I understand it doesn't have a lot to do with the high school, it absolutely, our high school experience, our performance should show that we do have, we have what it takes to make that happen. This isn't an experiment. This is tried and true. Yes, I see. Time's up. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Erica Rain. I believe I called a Gary Montana. Is he here? Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. My name is Brianna Zerger, and I'm a senior at Somerset College Prep, and I'm worth so much more than a dollar sign. I'm really sorry to admit this, but I think you've forgotten what your job is. I'm here to just remind you about that. You're an elected official, which means that the community as a whole is putting their trust for their children's education in you. And you guys have let them down. You can preach all day that you care about the children, but your actions aren't showing that. Your actions are saying that you don't believe that these students should have access to a choice school, one that's going to give them a college prep education. All your actions are doing is seeing these children, the future of our society, as nothing less than a few numbers and some test scores. What Somerset can do with a child is turn those few numbers and test scores into future teachers, doctors, engineers, astronauts. The possibilities are endless. Now, if you do side with your staff and agree to deny our high-performing application for a middle school, I only ask you to do one thing. I want you to look at every single person sitting in this audience right now, and I want you to tell them that you don't believe that their student should be allowed to have a choice education, a college prep education, something that's not offered at any other school in this district. Because by denying this application, that's exactly what you're doing.
Ms. Brianna.
Hi, my name is Chloe James Faulkner. I am a junior at SCPA. I was homeschooled, so I was confused and distraught. Everything was foreign to me when I first came here. I thought I would have dropped out and go back to homeschooling because at first it was so difficult for me to get used to everything. When Ms. Rains and the other teachers saw how badly I was doing, they all helped me. I even had some of the upperclassmen help me out as much as they could. That's just the kind of school Ms. Rains runs. Our teachers are phenomenal and know how to teach everyone, even if they have a different way they would like to be taught. All the teachers make sure all the students understand the lessons. And our teachers also prefer if the students ask as many questions as they need to understand the lessons more thoroughly. In the years I have been here, I have grown more mature, gained more sense of responsibility, and gained a wider range of respect towards others. I am more confident about going to college, and I think I can do better now that I've gotten the idea of what it's like to stay in an organized and working out my responsibilities. I think a middle school can help prepare more students for high school and then on to college and life after school, while making sure they got a good sense of respect and responsibility. Being here helped me understand more things that go on around me without realizing it. Being here helped me figure out what I would like to be after college, and I made it a goal to fulfill that idea. Adding middle school to our high school would give a wider range of kids the opportunity to be successful and further their minds to to do greater and better things with their lives. I thank you for listening to what I had to say, and I thank you for putting anything I had to say under consideration.
Thank you, Ms. Chloe. Yes, sir. Mr. Gary, can you please go forward?
Hi, my name is Gary Montagna. I reside at 1990 Southwest State Street, Port St. Lucie. I've been with Somerset College Prep since day one. I see firsthand every day what sets this school's spirit apart from others. Don't get me wrong, we're not putting down the regular public schools in St. Lucie County. I have two daughters who have gone through Treasure Coast High School and were taught with good staff. However, that's a school with a student population of more than 2,700 students. We're a small school, and we plan on opening with the addition of the middle school with approximately 700 students. We're a tougher school, but we offer much better choices and a better academic future for the students. Our teachers are second to none as they go out of their way to offer tutoring on their own time. This is a school that is very different in that I have personally gone to individuals' homes to pick students up when they've had no other way to get to school. Just yesterday, I had a student leave keys on the bus, and with further research this morning, found out the student wasn't in school. When we inquired as to where the student was at, he was walking to school, and I set out to bring the student to school. No other public school in St. Lucie County is going to do that. We ask you to please don't hold back the growth of Somerset. Vote yes tonight to approve our middle school addition. Send a clear message to our youth that you, our elected board, do care about our students' choices, their future, and their education. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Montana. Okay, I'm going to call four more names up. Please line up as you hear your name. Michelle Lakenbush, Daniel Ferderici, Chris Toussaint, and Yvette Cruz. Please remember to give your name and your address, please, as you come to the podium.
Hello, my name is Michelle Leckenbush. My husband and I have 6 children, as you can see. They are 17, 11, 9, 6, 4, and 17 months. Our oldest daughter has been at Somerset College Prep from before the school opened its doors. We helped to get the school ready by painting, laying floors, and much more. We did not do that out of obligation, but out of choice. From the first time I heard Erica Raines speak about her vision of the high school, I knew that that would be where I would choose to send all of our children for high school. No offense to the other traditional options in our county, but they are not for everyone. I want my kids to be safe and well cared for while receiving a great education. Miss Raines and Miss Roach do just that. My daughter, along with the other 324 current students, are not just a number. They care for my daughter and her academic needs just like I do, which is a tall order, by the way. And when you guys were speaking before, it kind of made me question, so you support the Now charter school? I believe that's been an F-rated school for the past few years. That's kind of disturbing. Not all kids thrive in a school that has over 2,000 kids like the other high schools in our county. Somerset has proven themselves to be a great choice for St. Lucie County parents and students through test scores, great leadership of the administration, and a long list of accomplishments from our current students. I, along with most of the people in this room, are registered voters in St. Lucie County, and we deserve the right to choose. I will be choosing to send all of my beautiful children that are over there to the new Somerset Middle School after the board approves the votes tonight. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Leckenbush.
Hi, my name is Chris Toussaint, and I reside at 4070 Southwest Boleto Street in Port St. Lucie, Florida. I'm a sophomore here, a second-year sophomore here at Somerset College Prep, and I was given the opportunity to come down to this meeting to share my experience. When it came time for me to select a high school that I'd like to continue or further my education in, I knew I had a very big decision to make. I was actually extremely worried that I'd make the wrong decision. I feared my outspoken personality will definitely get me into a lot of trouble with fellow scholars at Treasure Coast, and I feared I would be met with old friends who constantly promoted troublemaking among other behaviors I did not want to continue. I knew that if I selected either one of these schools, I'd be put in a position to conform to the whole black boys generally are not the best student stereotype, which is fair considering the statistics warrant such a stereotype. Somerset was a unique option, however. I mean, I know I heard quite about it from friends and different relatives, and after doing my own research, I noticed Somerset took high pride in showcasing their scholar achievements. At first, it was a bit daunting, applying to a school boasting high test scores and a school that expects success from every single one of their scholars, and I knew I'd be put in a very challenging and demanding position, a position that I don't generally succeed in. After reading more into it, the goals they set forth clearly state that they strive every single day to turn their students into successful scholars, and the scores they boast prove that. They're very successful. I shot in the dark and applied. Little did I know, a few days later, I'd receive a letter saying I was accepted. It was a massive relief. My first year was definitely challenging, but it was a challenge that I enjoyed conquering with my peers and fellow scholars. Ms. Rains cares about the students here at Somerset, and I know that she'll do everything in her power to ensure the middle school follows the same beliefs as the high school does. I appreciate your time, and thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Hello, my name is Yvette Cruz. I reside at 2761 Southwest District Avenue. I'm a property owner and a resident of St. Lucie County, and I am a stakeholder in this community. I am supportive of building a Somerset charter middle school because as a mother of a student who successfully graduated high school, went on to college, and became a successful business owner, I know it works. My daughter thanks me all the time for being the noisy parent that called the school board, wrote the letters, and successfully moved her into a charter school. She said that her peer students always spoke about college and their dreams. The teachers supported her and helped her turn her weaknesses into strengths. Her math was a weakness of hers, and now she is a successful business owner. Because my daughter went to a charter school, I know what these schools are capable of doing, and I want other parents to know. It works. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cruz. Now, there are people that are continuing to bring up the unscheduled speaker request form, but we stop at a certain time, and we do have enough speakers here already, but thank you. Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is Daniel Federici, 473 Copley Terrace. I'd like to point out, I think as adults, we think a year may not be a long time, but I think a year can make a huge difference in a person's life. And as a student myself, I've been a student, a teacher, or administrator all my life. But as a middle school student, I was in a district that had advanced classes. When I moved to another district that didn't have advanced classes, I was withheld from graduating early and made to take one English class my senior year. This kind of our policies, when you're going from middle school to a high school, if the policies aren't the same and consistent across the board, these kind of things can happen. I'd also point out that the articulation that can take place between the middle school and the high school in the same building is going to benefit a student greatly. And I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. I will now call up Chuck Kotek, Carrie Ann Persero, Madison White, I believe this one is name is Bill Patterson, maybe? Bill? Okay, yes, sir.
My name is Chuck Noddick, and I currently reside at 248 Southwest Manatee Springs Boulevard in Port St. Lucie. I'm here to address one of the concerns that I believe the superintendent stated earlier in regards to the accommodations of a child with special needs. I would like to speak from experience. I don't have an agenda. I don't have a prepared speech. I just want to let you all know that we recently moved here from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and the transition from that school to this school has been amazing. whether we are currently actually in the process of working on a 504 plan with the school, whether it be talking to Mrs. Raines or picking her a phone call. She's the first one to call me back, or whether I want to stop to the office and talk to her. She has been very helpful. I can tell you that in Minneapolis, it was nothing like this. And so we are moving forward, and I just wanted to bring that to your attention that this process itself, and she has been very accommodating, and I would strongly disagree with your opinion on addressing the special needs, and I just say I would hope you vote yes.
Thank you, Mr. Kotek.
Good afternoon. My name is Carrie Ann Pissarro, and I am a senior at Somerset College Prep. Through these past few years of high school, I have been given the chance to learn and achieve things that I never expected. Deciding whether or not to attend a charter high school was a decision that I wasn't quite sure how to make at first because I've grown up in public schools. However, choosing to attend a school such as SCPA was one of the best decisions that my parents and I could have made. What charter schools and our school in particular have is like no other. The chance to go outside of the standard curriculum and have a different approach at learning makes learning more interesting and understanding the material that is being taught. The teachers and staff and Ms. Raines are very supportive of all of the students by encouraging them to do better and better each day and go above and beyond the goals that we set for ourselves. Giving students the opportunity to attend a school as qualified and unique as ours, starting at a middle school level, will only give them a head start in life and push them in the right direction. Approving the SCPA middle school application will not only help students who want to grow and achieve and families all around St. Lucie County, but it will benefit the community as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Carrie Ann.
Hello, my name is Madison White. I reside at 611 Southeast Norseman Drive, Port St. Lucie, Florida. I am a 12th grader at SCPA, and I have been there since the opening year of the school. I first would like to thank you all for being here to listen to what we have to say. I wasn't planning on speaking until about an hour ago, so please excuse me. I'm not thinking my one speech is going to change the minds of those who believe that we should not have a middle school, but I would like to be heard. I'm very passionate about this subject because I have little brothers and sisters that I would like to have the same opportunity as I. And as of now, they cannot. Ms. Raines does so much for all the students here at SCPA, ensuring us a proper education, and this is why so many parents try and put their kids in our school. Full honesty, I have volunteered at multiple places where I've had parents tell me they wished we opened a middle school. SCPA is making history with our current high schoolers, and we would like to invite our middle schoolers on this journey. We are worried about the future for our scholars. We would like youth to have goals, be successful, be whatever they set out to be the best that they can, set high standards and overachieve. Am I right? I just don't understand if we all have the common goal, why are we still denied the middle school, and why are we depriving our middle schoolers? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Madison. Is there a Bill Patterson here? Okay, Mr. Patterson. Also, Emma Van Camp, please come up. Claudine Cohn. And April Van Camp, please come up. Mr. Patterson.
Thank you for your time, your service. My name is Bill Patterson. I'm a resident of Port St. Lucie. I'm a taxpayer in Port St. Lucie, and I'm also the chairman of the Republican Party for St. Lucie County. I've been following the charter school for the last 4 years very closely. I've looked at the list of the alleged inefficiencies or insufficiencies in their application, and each one of them was addressed to my satisfaction, and I would like to know from you, which ones of those did you not find satisfaction with? Because with respect to transportation, it was taken care of. With respect to handicapped, it was taken care of. Everything seems to have taken care of, but yet we're still back at this point. We all know in this room that this school is going to eventually open. Are we going to spend taxpayers' dollars wastefully to litigate it? Why can't we do the right thing tonight? We have a proof positive of a school that has existed, and you're looking for proof that the future will exist. Well, nobody can really do that, but what we can do is look at the example that's been set. Look at Mrs. Raines and her school as a tree in a community that has grown and grown. You can see by the people, the parents that are all here tonight, that this has been a great success for our community. And what I would suggest is to look at it, that is the tree, and we're saying that the apples are not going to fall far from this tree. This school will succeed, and we'd like you to do the right thing tonight and not delay any longer. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, my name is Emma Van Camp, and I spoke to you last year about the ESC accommodations SCPA has made for me. As a student with neurologically diagnosed chronic migraine, school is difficult for me, and the stress high school brings can make my illness worse. However, Ms. Gwendon and the administrators, faculty, have made my years tolerable and have made me successful. I am certain I am successful at CPATC, and I would struggle elsewhere. In fact, one board member emailed my mom and said I should be homeschooled. Apparently, she believes no other school could support me either. Please give SCPA a chance to help 6th through 8th graders achieve success. There is no evidence based on SCPA's success rates that indicate a middle school will do anything but contribute to the community.
Thank you, Emma. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. My name is Claudine Cohn, and I'm voting member of St. Lucie County. My address is 1629B, Laurel Leaf Lane, Fort Pierce, Florida, 34950. I'm here tonight to ask the board to approve Somerset College Prep Academy of the Treasure Coast request for middle school. I am a grandmother and a great-grandmother of 13 grandchildren, and their education is very important to me. Soon, my youngest grandchildren will need to make choices concerning the middle school education, and I would like for them to have the same quality education that my Emma Rose has received from CPATC. Thank you kindly for your consideration.
Thank you, Ms. Cohn.
Good evening. My name is April Van Camp. I reside at 1629B Laurel Leaf Lane, Fort Pierce, Florida. I'm here tonight to ask St. Lucie County School Board members to approve the request by the Somerset College Prep Academy for expanding its charter to include middle school students. I'm told, and then I've heard tonight, that someone has questioned the school's ability to provide for special needs student. Well, that was my daughter, 2 people ahead, and my mother just ahead of me. I can tell you from my own experience with the Somerset Prep Academy, I know that the school can meet the challenges as it has met the future challenges as it has met the challenges in the past. Furthermore, and this kind of goes to what Mr. Patterson said, there's no reason to believe that the school will be any less successful with an expanded program. Fears can stop board members from acting to grant the school's request, but are such fears justified? Fears can immobilize us. Fears could freeze us in the status quo. These fears are only justified if facts and evidence based on relevant past performance show us that a real basis exists for these fears to tip the balance. Otherwise, the Somerset College Prep Academy should be allowed to demonstrate that these fears are unfounded by receiving your permission to expand the program. If the school's program expands, any parents of students who feel they are underserved can easily leave the charter school. Young man said that earlier. They're free to opt in or opt out. Additionally, the school itself or the St. Lucie School Board can make modifications to help improve, become involved, and help the school in any future shortcomings. Nobody would need to suffer from tonight's decision to give the school a chance. But on the other hand, if the school's request is denied because of fear of what could happen, there is real and certain adverse consequences. This successful school would be denied the chance to prove itself once again, and all the parents and children who would be served by it will never have that opportunity. There is little risk in giving the school permission. The fears are remote enough and the consequences manageable. On the other hand, the adverse consequences of denying the request are real and certain and undeniable. I ask you to make the less risky choice and approve the school's request. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Van Camp. Kim Shalak. please come forward. Representative Debbie Mayfield. Michelle, I can't really see all the letters of your last name, but it's SC, yes, please come forward, thank you. And Ms. Sandy, please come forward.
Hi, my name is Kimberly Shaler. I have a son currently at Somerset College Preparatory Academy, and he is an ESE student. He has Asperger's, and it is very much a challenge to work with him every year to get him to where he needs to be, and they've done an awesome job with him. And I also want to say that I believe that we deserve a choice. That is the reason that I am here with him. My daughter is also a middle school child, and I didn't have a choice to put her here, and I would have done so. So I really believe that every parent deserves a choice. Thank you.
My name is Michelle Schnorr. I'm a registered voter in the county. My address is 1740 Southeast Clearmont Street. I really have to agree with Mr. Patterson about this being a tree, and it is growing and growing. I would, if I may, just take a moment and ask that all the branches of the tree, would everyone from Somerset just let us know that you are here to support this school application by standing, please. Wow. So thank you very much. You may have a seat. This is only a fraction of the people who support this school. 5 o'clock is a tough time for some people to leave work, and I just wanted to point out that this is a very strong group, but it's only a fraction of the folks here and the rest of the county for that matter. Thank you for this opportunity to speak today. We desperately need middle school choice. Regarding ESE, my high schooler is thriving at Somerset, and if not for Somerset, we would had to have moved. That's not about ESE, but the next part is. My younger two kids have what I'll call unique learning needs. They are amazing students. However, technically, with Asperger's, they have a disability. I've looked for and tried many school options. Nothing fit their needs, and my husband and I were faced with no choice. I now have to homeschool them. They are both middle schoolers. It has been a hardship for my family. I need choice, and so does St. Lucie County. As a parent, as an ESE teacher myself in this district for 3 years, and as an educator in the corporate sector for 25 years, I know this principal, this staff, and these teachers are what my kids and all of St. Lucie would benefit from immeasurably. The county would shine. I'm just asking that you do whatever it takes. Think out of the box, work with Mrs. Rains. I encourage this board to fulfill their commitment to the mission that you stated up there at the beginning of the meeting. The success, continuous improvement, and success of each individual child. This is a huge improvement. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Michelle.
Thank you, members. My name is Debbie Mayfield, and I live at 1820 Ocean Way in Vero Beach, Florida. But I am actually a House member. I was elected in 2008. I represent part of St. Lucie County and Indian River County. I am somewhat familiar with your county, more so than that, because and your situation. My husband served on the school board in Indian River County for 4 years. He worked for your school district as the Assistant Superintendent of Facilities with Mrs. Hensley as a board member, and then he had the honor of serving with our Representative Ralph Arza, who is also here. So, you know, we do have a little bit of a background on how charter schools came about. I will share with you, I was with the Brevard County School District delegation this morning, and as much as they have a love for their children, and there are children, I had to keep reminding them, they are not just your children, they are our children. They have parents that love them. They have parents that are engaged in the education of their children. And the school board's responsibility is to listen to what those parents have to say about choice when it comes to education of their children. Now, I did serve at the time that we passed legislation to duplicate high-performing charter schools. And isn't that what we want to do? We have a proven track record here of a school that is a high-performing school. They are an A-rated school. I think there are only two A-rated schools in your county, and they are one of them. So I would hope that you would sincerely take into consideration what the parents' needs are, what the children's needs are, and not delay the approval of this charter school. Now, I was listening to some of the students that came up to speak, and I can tell you right now, they have some great students, and that is a testament that they are doing what is right at their school. And we want them to duplicate what they are doing at that school for our children. So I would just ask that you not delay it. Every year does make a difference, and approve this tonight so that we can go about the business of giving parents a choice of where their children go to school at. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Mayfield.
Hi, good morning. Superintendent, board members, Sandy Kriske here. I reside at 8407 Fort Walton Avenue in Fort Pierce. I'm the mother of 3 students who are currently going through or have gone through St. Lucie County Public Schools. For the past 17 years, I have served or chaired 5 SAC committees, 3 PTOs, 2 curriculum committees, 1 parent advisory committee, and founded and served on a parent booster club. I serve on the Indian River State College Board of Trustees currently. I hold a bachelor's degree in public policy, and I'm just 3 credits shy from my master's in public administration. With that being said, I understand public policy, I understand education policy, and I understand this process in which you have to go through to make these sort of things happen. With that being said, while I haven't been as involved in the charter high school as I would have liked to have been over the past 4 years, what I have been involved with is my own children's education. My son happens to attend the only other A-rated school we've all been talking about today, Lincoln Park Academy, but I want it to be known that I would be one of the first to pull my child out of Lincoln Park Academy and join the mass exodus that's going elsewhere in this county and join them right up for the Somerset. I have a 4th grade student going into 4th grade, and I would just be on pins and needles waiting until she could go to that middle school as well. The reason for that is not because I know that they've proven successes, but what they've proven is that they have learning gains. If you look at the test scores that are out there and publicized, they are #1 in every learning gains. 2nd overall, but the learning gains, they're #1. That tells me they're doing something right. And I don't always look at the A and the B, but the learning gains is what's important. And they're doing that here in St. Lucie County, and they're the only one doing it, and they're doing it the best. So my children will be the first ones that I would sign up for that school, and I highly recommend and respectfully request that you guys please approve this charter so we don't end up in the same boat we were in 4 years ago. Thank you for your time.
I will now call up Roland O'Brien, Dodie Spence, Renee Gregory. And another Cody. Cody, I can't see the letters. Gregory, maybe? Okay, come on up, Cody.
Good evening, Madam Chair, board members, superintendent, and staff. My name is Roland O'Brien. I live at 21 Villa del Norte in Fort Pierce. I have no children and grandchildren in the St. Lucie County education system. When this topic kind of got hot here recently, got on Google with my notebook, as a lot of people do. First thing I found that the state of Florida, only 28 out of 52 in the education field. I looked at the county. St. Lucie County is only 42 out of 66. Multiply those numbers together, 18.8%, meaning 81.2% of the education systems in the state, in the country, are, quote, better than St. Lucie County, just using the numbers and the statistics. So I went back and looked at six elementary schools from 2012 to 2013. Only one was the same. All the others went downhill, worse. From 2013 to 2014, one was better, one the same, 4 worse. Well, not good. Looked at the high schools as well, and of course we've already talked about Somerset being an A-rated high school. Best predictor of future is the past. You've got it right in front of you. My wife and I have a small business. We're bringing people into the state of Florida. One of the first things they look at is the educational system. And I'm sorry, 18.1% does not cut it. Please bring in another A-rated school, which is certain to happen, by your vote this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien.
My name is Dodie Spence, 833 Southeast Streamlet Avenue, Port St. Lucie, Florida. When I encounter individuals seeking to relocate to St. Lucie County, the first question I ask them is if they have children. And if they tell me yes, I tell them look at Martin County or Indian River County because the school district here is absolutely horrid. Does the school board, St. Lucie County School Board, want children to succeed? If so, the St. Lucie County School Board should recognize what Somerset has done. They're an A-rated school. Approve the application for the middle school. I have 3 children, 2 that have graduated, 2 that have, 1 child graduated from Port St. Lucie High School, 1 child dropped out after many years, and it wasn't until the middle school that I had to fight to get him tested to find out that he had a learning disability. Shouldn't take that. It shouldn't take that as a parent to fight to get it tested. And now I have my daughter. Last year, she encountered bullying from not only children, teachers. I had a teacher tell me, hey, this teacher's picking on your child all day long. Are you kidding me? This is St. Lucie County School District. I couldn't take it. I was going to pay for her to go to private school when I stumbled across what I call St. Lucie County's hidden treasure, Somerset Academy. She's on the B honor roll right now, as far as the grades as of Saturday. The children, they take a walk through the campus. I go and I'll volunteer at lunchtime. The kids they're happy. There's none of the BS that you see in the high schools. I mean, the high schools, there was always a fight every other day. You don't see that at Miss Raines' school. Miss Raines doesn't put up for bullying. But in the rest of the school district, I cannot say the same. I can tell you, Mr. Gent, you were at Central when I was there. You're part of the reason I left and I dropped out. I did go back to school and receive my bachelor's in healthcare administration, but the way the district runs is absolutely absurd.
Can I go? My name is Cody James Gregory. I live at 581 Southwest Feldman Avenue, Port St. Lucie. I'll be honest with you, Somerset's been wonderful for me. Here I'm treated as a real person, not just a number on a spreadsheet. All teachers are accessible and willing to go out of their way to help you succeed. I mean, I can't tell you how many of these teachers I have asked, and as well as office staff, for things to help me get into college, whether it's transcripts or letters of recommendation. And due to Somerset's close proximity to the college and their dual enrollment program, I am on track to graduating this spring from IRSC with my associate's degree on an engineering track. Right now I have 37 credits of the required 60. I have consistently made Dean's List, and this was not easy. I'm taking hard courses, and right now I got Calc 1 with analytic geometry. Some hard stuff. And I wouldn't have made it this far if I didn't have the guidance and superior level of instruction from Somerset. It provided a good, solid base for me. By the end of my junior year, they had assisted me, like I said, with applying to not only colleges, but also applying to the NROTC scholarship. Colleges I've applied to are Georgia Tech, Embry-Riddle, Penn State, Norwich, and Texas A&M. And this is not they've really helped me out a lot, and this is not the case with most other high schools. I came from LPA, and I'll be honest, I went there freshman year, and I know I wouldn't have gotten this help from them. I definitely wouldn't have. But that's my story, and the reason why I'm here is for my sister. Right now is in 3rd grade, and my parents have the right to choose where my sister goes, and me, I had to wait until high school to get a education of this level, and I think, I'm a good student, but I think I'd be an even better student if I got this superior level of education starting in middle school. And I think it's not right that the county isn't taking advantage of what Somerset has to offer. And thank you.
Thank you, Cody.
Good evening. My name is Renee Gregory, and I live at 581 Southwest Feldman Avenue, Port St. Lucie, Florida. That was my son. I've been a homeowner and taxpayer in St. Lucie County for 12 years. I'm also a registered voter and a veteran. I'm pretty upset that my hard-earned taxpayer dollars are being wasted in this way, because what's going to happen is there's going to be an appeal, and they're going to win. Isn't that what happened before? My husband and I not only have Cody, we have an 8-year-old. She's in 3rd grade. That is why I'm here. We as parents are responsible for guiding our children, and we as parents know what is best for our children. No 2 children are the same, and what works for one may not work for the other. Square peg, round hole, I'm sure you've heard that before. More educational options are necessary to ensure fewer children fall through the cracks. I hear you guys talk about ESE, and that was a concern, but I didn't hear anyone mention anything about the other end of ESE. It's not just the handicap portion. How about the gifted portion? Clearly, they've been able to hold up to that part. My son came in gifted with an IEP and everything, and there hasn't been a problem. Look at him. He's been very successful, and I'm sure he's not the only one. This is why we need the choice of where to send our children. The school board should not stand in the way of our choice, and that is exactly what I've seen being done. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Gregory. I'm now going to call Kia up to the podium, Kelly up to the podium, Attorney Villafranco up to the podium, please.
Good evening. My name is Kia Busicle, and I reside at 1702 Southwest State Street in Point St. Lucie, Florida. I am a teacher here in this county, and I have a niece that I am a guardian of, and she was in St. Lucie County Public Schools. And when she decided to go to high school, we had to figure out what high school we wanted her to attend to. And we decided for her to go to the College Preparatory Academy School. And she was in band at public schools in St. Lucie County, and this school did not have band. And I understand that this school is a academically, push-run school, and they don't have different type of curricular activities for after school. But I know, and I research, and I know that the Florida legislature law states that any charter school student can attend a curricular-based activity in a public school. So it took us during the summer, the whole summer, to get her into band at a public school, high school in the county. And I emailed the principal at this public school. I emailed district personnel, and it was always a no. She can't do band, no. And I emailed them. I said, well, I don't understand. Here's the Florida legislation law that states that a student can participate. And I would like to thank Ms. Raines, Erica Raines, because she supported me, she assisted me in everything that I needed. And it took my husband to call the district office and talk to Dr. Wow and Jonathan, another guy by the name of Jonathan, just to let them know that the Florida legislation law says that she can attend a charter school as well as participate in a public school after-school activity. And I would just want to ask you to consider having them have a middle school, because you talked about innovative strategies, and as a teacher, they're clearly showing strategies if they are a A-rated school. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Kia.
Good evening. My name is Leonard Villafranco. I am an attorney in this town. I've been here since 2004. I had a whole speech prepared, but what impressed me most tonight are these students. We've heard testimony from a lot of people tonight. Stand up, stand up. All the students, I want you to stand up. Again, I'm sorry, but I need you to stand. Their testimony tonight was more impressive than civic leaders elected politician, business people, and local attorneys. They came up here and impressed the hell out of me. Why? Because Somerset works. And you have two choices here tonight. You're either going to tell these students that regardless of what a good job you're doing, Somerset does not need to expand, or you're going to tell them that you support them, you support Ms. Raines. This program works. It's an excellent program. My 15-year-old stepdaughter goes to it. She comes home and tells us how much fun she's having, how much she's learning. My two children, graduates of Centennial, they both came to me and said, "Dad, I wish we had this opportunity." You must give every student in Port St. Lucie or in St. Lucie County the opportunity to attend middle school and high school with this program, and years from now, elementary school with this program. It's an excellent, excellent program. And I have vowed my assistance and the assistance of my law firm to help Ms. Raines in any way possible. This is going to happen. And you're either going to spend our taxpayer money fighting it, or you're going to tell these students, "Good job, let's expand." Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Valafranco.
It's a hard one to follow.
Yes, it is.
My name is Kelly Gregory. I live at 581 Southwest Feldman Avenue, Port St. Lucie. I'm a resident taxpayer, and I'm a veteran. I want to talk about what happens when parents are denied a choice. As a kid growing up, I was denied choices. Probably gifted like my son, but never had the testing or anything like that until I went into the military, and guess what? I found my niche and I excelled. Principal's list, dean's list, all that after schooling and getting the discipline I needed. Mrs. Raines has brought a unique gift to this county and this school board. These students learn. I've seen the teachers take the time to educate them. They do it on their lunch. They do it after their break. I mean, these kids do great. And if you want to know, that's, like I said, the floor plan for middle school. This is what's going to get the middle school going. I don't think Ms. Raines knows how to fail. I think she might stop for a minute, take a breath, and keep going at it. I understand that because I've been in that situation where somebody says you're not going to make it like hell. I always make it, and I think Ms. Raines is cut from the same cloth. This school is great. The middle school will benefit my 8-year-old daughter. She needs it. If you guys want to take a look at what you got going on in your other schools. Learn from Ms. Raines. Maybe you can apply it. Okay? That's all I got to say.
Mary Beth. Mary Ann Russin. Mark Gotts, and Ned Schuster. And we will end with this group here.
Hi, good evening. My name is Mary Beth Liptrot, and I reside at 2091 Southwest Villanova Road, Port St. Lucie. I had no idea I was going to speak tonight, but when I realized what was at stake here, I really felt required to do so. I am a retired teacher of 35 years from Broward County, Florida, where I taught special needs and regular education. When I first moved here, about 5 years ago, I have granddaughters, twins that are freshmen at Somerset. And when I first moved here, I brought them to the library over at Indian River State College. And they said, "Wow, this is a real college campus." When I heard that there was a high school, this is when they were in 6th grade, that was on the campus, we came to the first open house to see if that was going to be a reality. And when those girls went to tour, when they were accepted and went to tour Somerset, and they themselves and their mom told me how impressed they were that Miss Raines spent over an hour touring the school with them. They were in Ohio this summer at other grandparents, and she kept writing to me, the one little one, Olivia. Well, not so little anymore, but they are my grandkids. so I can say it. And she wrote to me and she said, "Are you sure I'm getting in? Am I going to go to Somerset?" And when I picked those girls up that day from the high school, it's the first time that I have heard them say, "We loved it." They've been offered every opportunity to shine. They've been given tutoring. They went into the clubs that they enjoyed. And I have 2 younger grandchildren, aged 1 and 2, and I hope that they have the opportunity to go to middle school, to attend Somerset. And I want to thank everyone here for listening this evening.
Thank you, Ms. Mary Beth.
Good evening. My name is Mary Ann Russell. I reside on Sanctuary Drive in St. Lucie West, Port St. Lucie. I'm a voter and I'm a taxpayer. I don't have any children or grandchildren in school. I have been over to Somerset Academy to tour the academy, to meet with the students, to meet with the teachers, and to see how that operation takes place. When I got the call that the school board was going to deny the expansion of the middle school, my first question was why? Why would we want to deny the expansion of something that is working so well in this county, that is educating our children so phenomenally, that you see from the children here, that the students here tonight that got up to speak, they're articulate, they're educated, they're confident. Why would our school board that is supposed to be here working for the children and the parents of this county want to deny them the expansion of such a great school? It just doesn't compute to me. I don't know if any of you have ever visited the school. Have you spoken with Ms. Raines not on a level in this manner? Have you met the students? Have you been, I was a judge at one of their competitions. These students are brilliant. The things that they come up with, the initiative that they had, the imagination that they had, the want that they had to do what they were doing was incredible. And I just cannot figure out why you would want to deny the rest of the students and their parents the choice of that type of an education. Thank you.
Chairwoman Mills and Council, or I should say School Board, Mark Gotts, Magnolia Lakes, St. Lucie West. Let's review the education system of St. Lucie County. We're a district that has always been in the bottom third of the state school districts. You would think that a district of this great a need would embrace an education program that has proven to be one of, if not the best, in St. Lucie County. The history of the College Preparatory Academy of the Treasure Coast, now known as Somerset High, goes back over 6 years, when the high school initially applied for a charter. The district delayed, deceived, and then denied the application. It took 2 years and a final approval from the State Board of Education to make the high school become a reality. What was the school district afraid of then? What are you afraid of now? That a better education option would be available to citizens of St. Lucie County and not under the thumb of the school district? Delay, deny, and deceive seems to be the focus of this district, and you as the school board members are responsible for this. This evening was reported as canceled by the newspaper today. That information came from a gentleman by the name of Patrick out of the school district. Don't know who he is, but that's the report, and it was in the papers this morning. Do you or do you not want better education in this county? Businesses choose not to locate in this county because they don't want their children in our school system. How can our county ever grow economically with such a weak link? So weak and so inept to continually keep better education from its citizens. The St. Lucie County School District will now become the poster child for the charter school movement to lobby once again for a state authorizer. Your denial this evening will make a great white paper to fire up parents throughout our state to get behind this movement. I can see the headlines now. Worst district in state denies quality charter school operator, or better yet, how our children are being cheated by the status quo. The citizen parents of this county should recall every member of this board. It would be a just response to your actions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gotts. Ned Strusa, next.
Well, I guess now we know why there's a school bus in the parking lot there. Good evening, and let me start by saying that I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm a firm believer in giving parents as much choice as possible when it comes to their child's education. In fact, my own child attends middle school in this county through a parental choice opportunity. That said, I must tell you how offended I am for anyone to come to this microphone tonight and state that they are the only A-rated public high school in St. Lucie County and one of 2 A-rated public high schools in the county. I'm sorry, I should have said Port St. Lucie, is very, very misleading to you and to the public. The 5 traditional public high schools and 1 magnet school in St. Lucie County receive 50% of their state grade based on the Florida assessment at the end of each year. The other 50% is based on a number of factors, including risk, graduation, and of course exams, reading and math readiness. Because College Prep Academy has not had a graduating class as of yet, they are not scored using the high school matrix. Instead, they are graded and scored based on the elementary school matrix, which is 800 points less than the high school matrix. So to proclaim that College Preparatory Academy is an A school as compared to the 6 other schools in St. Lucie County is the same thing as comparing cherries to grapefruits. I only bring this forward because I have read all 200 pages of the charter application, along with the addendums, memos, and 40-page analysis by district staff, and I have some significant concerns. May I have some extra time, please?
2 minutes. We'll give them one more minute. 1 more minute. Okay. All right. But we did give some other people a couple of more seconds. So would you please conclude with what you're saying? Is what I'm saying.
While replicating a high-performance charter school, which Somerset College Preparatory Academy seeks to do, you as a board do not have a choice. If the application meets state standards, you must approve the school. One of the first things that the application seeks is a letter from the Commissioner of Education certifying that the school, which is being replicated, is a high-performing school. The certification letter that College Preparatory Academy submitted with their application was from 2011, 4 years and 2 education commissioners ago. By only providing limited transportation that is within only a 2 to a 4 mile radius of the campus, the school is segregating students throughout this county.
We need you to wrap up, please. And I think you're setting up for us to get a clear picture of what you're saying.
Okay, let me just read this one last sentence. To finish it up? No? Okay. Thank you.
Okay, we're done at this time. I know some of you had got pretty...
I would like an extra 57 seconds, if you don't mind, Madam Chair.
Well, if... Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you have to stop clapping so you can hear me. We will give you that, but we're not going to give everybody that.
Dr. Mills, let me just clarify
at this time,
something.
I will say we will give you that 15 minutes. No one else.
Rules of Order publicly announced meeting. If I were to do this at one of my board meetings, the governor would rip me out. Are you kidding me? This is not a dog and pony show, and I don't think you can give, just because somebody makes one little statement that favors the way this board is going, they get almost another minute, and everybody else is cut off. Let me make my little 40-second statement. On open house this year at Lincoln Park Academy, who, don't get me wrong, I was lucky he went there instead of the other 3 F schools I had a choice of. I was told on open house that not just 1, but 2 of my children, 2, both of them in magnet schools that are A-rated schools, given a new math curriculum. Make note of this. My son is in 7th grade and he's on his 5th different math curriculum. I don't believe Ms. Raines would ever allow that to happen. And how do I know that? Because I think I value her as a person. And I know her as a person. It's just like when you elect elected officials. If you can trust them and you value them, You can trust they'll do what's right in office. And it's the same thing with her. I think you can trust that she's going to do what's right with this middle school instead of the yanking around that we've had done. So keep rolling your eyes, Ms. Hensley, but this is a public meeting.
Okay, at this time, we are going to ask our fellow board members if they have any comments or any questions regarding the application of the charter school and the superintendent's recommendations. Ms. Hensley.
Yes, ma'am. What
Hilson.
comes
I'm sorry,
before
Ms.
us,
Hilson.
it seems to be a confusion. And I think I celebrate the fact that you're here. I celebrate that you want choice. We are a choice district. But when a charter comes to us and it does not fulfill what the state of Florida and Department of Education is asking to be done, we as elected officials have to follow the law. Sometimes it's not convenient. I was outspoken about FCAT. I thought FCAT was nothing more than a political ploy put on by our legislators, and I was very vocal about that. This isn't about what you've come here tonight about, and I do respect you for coming here tonight. This is about the charter that was turned in to our staff to meet the Department of Education standards. We have to follow the law. It does not meet the criteria that's been given to us. And I am very concerned about transportation. I grew up in this county. I've been through segregation. I've been through integration. And anytime someone comes forth to me and says, we will not bus children, all children are all children, white, black, poor, Hispanic. All children, when this, excuse me, this is my time to speak. You've had your time. This is my time to speak. We are right now in a lawsuit with another school because they are refusing to transport students. And in my mind, I represent all the children of this county, not just certain children. And I'm disappointed that there's been a misunderstanding that this charter that came before us does not meet the Department of Education and the state of Florida standards. No matter what you and I believe, and however it's convenient for us to believe what we want to believe, it is the law. And that's why we have attorneys and staff that look at this information. Do I trust my attorneys? Do I trust my staff? Yes, I do. I have to. But as an elected official, I honor all the children in this county. I honor you. I have a daughter that teaches at a charter school in another county. So the fact that people think, well, we're anti-charter, no, I am not. But rules and laws, and I really have a pause that we have legislators telling us that we don't have to meet that standard. And by law, we do have to. I have to. I signed on as a constitutional officer of the state of Florida. I will follow the law, not just when it's convenient, not just when I'm passionate about one thing or another thing. I do appreciate you being here, and we do hear you. We do have a love and a passion for every child in this community. And I do appreciate your time, but I will follow the law. And I will follow what the Department of Education says, whether I agree with it or not. That's my job.
Do we have any more comments from our board?
I'll go ahead.
Mr. Ingersoll, please, you have the table.
First off, I'd like to thank you all for coming, specifically the students. You did a phenomenal job. And Ms. Raines, yeah, go ahead. I applaud you. Good job. And Ms. Raines, definitely, I want to thank you for your leadership in your school. But most importantly, students, what you have to realize here is the biggest person in the room, the biggest advocate you have is your parents. And I'm very grateful for them. I am a parent too in St. Lucie County. I have 2 children. I have a freshman that is going to Port St. Lucie High School. Now, I just live like 2 blocks over from here. That was a choice given to me. I don't see my daughter. I drop her off at the school bus at 6:20 in the morning, and I won't get her until another 3 more hours. She has made her school her community. She loves her school. Now, I wish she would go to the same school as her brother. Her brother goes to Central. Her brother's a junior. He will attain 29 credits from Indian River Community College. He has made the best of his opportunities. He plays 3 sports there and has done very well. He loves his school. And it's all about choice, and we want to give you that choice. But there's also a precedent here that we have to set, and there, along with expectation too, because with the expectation of my children, they are going to go off to college. They're going to a 4-year university. They're going to go off and be productive citizens and be voters and taxpayers. And that's what you're going to be, because that's the expectation of your parents. And I appreciate that. But again, we do have a precedent here that we have to follow. We have an application process. And unfortunately, we were here this time last year. And my question is the same as your question, is why can't we just move this thing along? Well, there's still some questions and debates, our side, your side, whoever's side. And again, it's just about the children. But somehow we have to work it out. And if you don't know the next process will be an appeal process where we'll go and we will spend money, you'll spend money, and we'll just figure out who's right and who's wrong. Now, you also have to realize this board has also voted on some charter schools. You know, all of them are in Port St. Lucie. What is it, 5 or 6? No middle. But you have to think about it. We have K-8s, but am I fearful? No, I love competition. Those of you that know me know I love competition. And the way that I look at it is, what am I going to be fearful about? You have what, 400 students? A little bit more now? Okay, 325? If you look at that, that's a drop in a bucket of what's at Centennial High School at 279. Treasure Coast is at 2,900. So, you know, I know that, but listen, and I understand that point, and I understand that. But when you talk about being fearful, I'm not really fearful of that, because I applaud the effort, but you have to go through the process the right way. Because you haven't sat on this side, is just as many people come out here for approval that when we do have to shut the school, not your school, but we've had to shut schools in the past, there's just as many people saying, please keep our school open. But the problem is it's F school, F school, F school, F school, F school, now listen, I've had to shut two charter schools down. And it's hard. And the problem is that they're like, well, what's the reason? Well, they didn't go through the right process sometimes. And that's all I have to say is, if you go through the process the right way, it'll work. It's worked with other schools. Thank you.
Okay. Any other board member here would like to speak?
Well, we heard, Madam Chair, we heard choice, 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 and we have for many years worked diligently to provide a variety of choices. In that particular zone, we have 3 charter schools that have middle grades, and we have a charter lab school that has middle grades, as well as, 5 other schools that have middle grades. There are a lot of choices within that zone for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade students. So I think that is not the issue. And I know that these wonderful students are being successful at the high school. And every kid that we know loves their high school. We get kids up here all the time, and they all love their high schools, or they love their middle schools, or they love their elementary schools. So that's not really an issue either. Students love their schools when they get acclimated to their schools. We have no fear of competition, otherwise we would not have approved so many charters as we have in the past. So I don't think that's an issue either. And charter schools, by the way, are public schools. So I know that we are constitutional officers. We have to follow the law. People can get up and say whatever they want. They can be as disingenuous as they want. They can have veiled threats against elected constitutional officers if they want. That doesn't change the fact that we have to follow the law, and this board has a standard, and we have always followed the law.
Thank you, Ms. Hensley. Okay, before we go into the next phase of this, I just want to make some comments myself. I've been to the Somerset College Prep Academy before. I've spoken to the children there. I have enjoyed what my experience. The children there, when I went to speak, were like college students. They were so attentive. And I know you're doing a great job, Ms. Erica. And I want the public to know that you have done an excellent job. Here's the problem. The problem is with the state statutes and with the evaluation that has come before the board. We have the application, we've been given the application, and our administration staff, out of 19 different areas of evaluation, 14 of those areas did not meet the standards. Not even partial. We have 3 different standards. It's either meet the standards, partially meet them, or do not meet the standards. Out of 19 different areas, we have 13 or 14 that just did not meet the standards on that application. Now, here's what I would like to see, and I've already expressed this to administration, and I will say it again. I want us to work together with this school to ensure that you can extend and move forward in what you're doing. I do believe in you. I believe you have done an excellent job. I believe you can do an even better job. And it's all about children. I've heard people come up one after the other, and it's what's right for your child. I've heard young people come up and say they were completely failing out and flunking out of the public school system, and now they're doing great. But don't put us down in order to make yourself look better. That starts wars. That doesn't help people come together, improve, and grow together. We have excellent schools in this county. All of my children went to school in this county. I have a daughter that went to Yale University as a result of graduating from Westwood High School, okay? Yeah, clap now. I want to hear that clap. I have a 15-year-old son right now, 15 years old, has one more high school class to take, and all of his other classes right now are college classes. He is excelling. He absolutely loves his school and what he's gone through. And we have all type of things to reach out to the children of this community. So don't put us down, because I think even though we all have a long way to go, we've come a long way and we will continue to do so. If I could tonight, I would say yes. But I have to abide by the state standards. I am a constitutional officer. That is what I've been appointed to do by the state of Florida, to ensure that people abide by their rules, regulations, and standards. According to this app, it doesn't measure up. So what I want to see us do from this point on is I want us to work together so that whatever app you submit as a school will be able to be passed, because our administration has helped you to see what they need to see on that application, and we all work together so that we will be abiding by the rules and regulations of the state of Florida.
Actually, Madam Chair, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to correct one of your board members. And Mrs. Hensley, I'm sorry, but I'm going to correct her. By no means did I get up here and ask you to not follow the law. That was not what I asked. What I asked is that you reconsider the application and review it again on the appeal. That is what this workshop was all about. So I wanted to make sure that I did not leave this room, and no one else left this room, on your comment that you were appalled that a lawmaker would get up here and ask you to not abide by the law. That is not what I said. So just to make sure the record is straight, I do applaud you, Madam Chair, for willing to work with the parents and willing to work with the charter school. And I did not criticize what you guys had been doing. I just indicated the fact that charter schools are good. We passed a law to duplicate high-performing charter schools. Mrs. Erica has a high-performing school, pointing that out. Okay, and I do appreciate you working with her, and I do appreciate you working with the parents. But I want to make sure I leave here and it's clear. I did not ask you not to follow the law. I asked you to reconsider the application, and I wanted to make sure that was perfectly clear before I left here.
Thank you very much. Now, we've heard from everyone. We've heard all the comments. You know you're my special friend, Mr. Villafranco, but
yes.
I have to, at this point, stop the comments, and we have to move on. We've heard everything.
This is a question based on what Dr. Mills said. Dr. Mills said there are parts of this application that are lacking. I am asking the board if they could please tell us on the record what specific 14 items are lacking.
Okay. Now we need to.
Thank you.
It's online. You can go on our school line. You can also talk to the principal there. She has the whole packet and all the evaluations. I think that our superintendent, Mr. Gent, would like to make a comment before we move forward.
Just want to say, before the recommendation is read, it was going to be a response to Representative Mayfield, and it was something I said at the very beginning as well. We offered to extend this out for another 2 weeks to a month to work together to see if we could work through the deficiencies as we see them so that they were legally sufficient to bring them forward back to the board. The school itself decided not to do that. That's not something that the board has done. That's not something that I've done. That was an offer that was made. So I think that that's important as well. And that's all the comments I have.
So that you know that we have tried to work with the school to move forward with this and postpone it. And for some reason, that has not been the case tonight. So now it must go. The other option is that we vote on it tonight, and that is what we are about to do. Unless there is, I don't know, is this?
No, I have.
Okay, so. Okay. Are you saying something? Is it doesn't work? Okay. Okay. Board members, we have this.
Want to give Ms. Raines?
Thank you, Mr. Ingersoll.
You are the only one, Ms. Raines.
I understand.
Okay, make it
and
quick.
I appreciate everybody's support, but let's move on from this once I'm done, okay? Thank you, guys. Okay. We submitted this, as you guys pointed out, and I just want to make clear, we submitted this application last August. We did defer it then, tabled it, continued it, whatever the term is. At that point, it was then denied. I resubmitted on May 1st. I resubmitted again on August 1st. So that option, when we had that meeting yesterday morning, we left that room with 3 options. Option 1 was to move forward tonight with your denial, which we will appeal. Option 2 was to withdraw the application, and that is not an option. And option 3 was to mutually agree to continue this until October 27th meeting, during which time your staff and people on my side of the table, and the requirements would be Somerset from the proposed school to be replicated, myself, and a governing board member. None of my governing board members live up here, so that would be travel expense and time for them, and they're volunteer, to come up here and sit down and work through it. Both your legal counsel, Dr. McGinn, and today on the phone, Mr. Gent said that there would still, even if we did that, there would be no guarantee of an approval at the end of that on October 27th. So we will move forward tonight. I would ask you to vote, and we have met every standard repeatedly. And if you look at what you guys have posted on your site, the last summary page that you guys gave, there's a response that you guys posted from me. It's in red, and it tells you exactly what page and paragraph every single bit of that is on.
Thank you, Ms. Erica. Board members, we have heard the recommendations from the superintendent. May I have a motion, please? May I have a motion? Okay, I'll repeat myself. We have heard the recommendations from the superintendent this evening. May I have a motion, please?
Did he state his recommendation?
Yes, he already stated his recommendation.
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Hilson.
Second.
Second by Ms. Hensley. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. At this time, the public hearing meeting is officially concluded, and we will turn it into Mr. Gent's hands, special order of business. Mr. Gent.
Ms. Bills, can we just take a 5-minute pause and then come back and start the meeting?
Okay, 5 minutes pause, please. this time, we're going to ask Superintendent Gent for our special order of business.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Is Tom Jones still here? All right, very good. Tom is our Executive Director of the Ed Foundation. He's going to introduce some representatives from the Bank of America. They're going to give us a $6,000 grant to the foundation, and I apologize to you and your representative for had a special meeting, as you were aware, and it went a little long, and so we appreciate you hanging on and appreciate what you do for us. Tom?
Madam Chair, Mr. Superintendent, and members of the board, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. We received some good news several weeks ago from the Bank of America, and I had the privilege of meeting with the local market president earlier, and the bank has provided the foundation with a check for $6,000. This check will be used to support at-risk students in the school district. The timeliness of the check was really good because we were able to place these $6,000, the funds, into our matching grant application. So our hope is very soon we'll learn that the $6,000 check will grow into $12,000. But I'd just like to make the presentation, and I'm sorry, your name again? And this is Ruben from Bank of America. You should come up here. The hour's getting late, and I will be very brief, but I wanted to just provide the board with an overview of a couple of the programs that are currently ongoing. First of all, this is the last week of our students selling the coupons for Classroom Book. Madam Chair mentioned it at the last board meeting. Thank you very much. This is one of our largest fundraisers for the year. We've ordered 15,000 books, and if we sell them all, we will provide over $100,000 to the school district and the foundation. So in talking to a lot of the schools this week, sales are going very well. After the students have had an opportunity to sell the books, we will have an opportunity to sell the books in a larger venue. But at the same time, if anyone wants a book, you can go on our website or call the foundation, and we'll certainly get the book to you. It's $20 per copy, and it's filled with a lot of values in terms of local merchants. The other thing I wanted to mention very briefly is that we've set the date and time for our annual dinner, which will be Saturday, November the 7th. This year we brought it back to Fort Pierce in celebration of our 25th anniversary. It will be held at the Kite Center at the IRC Fort Pierce campus. We're going to have a celebration of our 25th year. We're going to recognize our founding members, officers, and board members. So it'll be really a birthday party. It'll be a lot of fun, and I hope all of you can come. So I just want to say thank you to the board for all of your support. It's as the new head of the foundation, it's really great to know that the school board is 100% behind the foundation. So thank you all. I really appreciate your support.
Thank you so much, Mr. Todd, and Tom, and Education Foundation as well. And of course, thank you again to the Bank of America who presented that wonderful check this evening. It will be put to good use. The Education Foundation is a tremendous part of helping our teachers and our students in our classrooms. So thank you very much for that. Board members, I'm now going to call for a vote to move along our consent agenda. We have the agenda before us this evening, and I would like I would like someone to entertain a motion at this time to adopt it.
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Ingersoll.
Second.
Second by Ms. Hilson. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Board members, are there any conflicts that you need to declare at this time? Hearing none, Superintendent Gent, may we have your recommendations?
I recommend the board approve the consent agenda as submitted.
We have the superintendent's recommendations. Are there any items you wish to comment on, board members, or discuss, and therefore pull out for separate vote? Okay, hearing none, we have already received the recommendations. May I hear a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Hensley.
Second.
Second by Mr. Ingersoll. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Superintendent's update at this time.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This will be brief, but it's very important. Next week, on September 30th, will be Dad's Take Your Child to School Day. And St. Lucie Public Schools, we invite the fathers and male caregivers to come back to school on September 30th. Fathers and caregivers can bring their child to school, sign a pledge of involvement, and demonstrate the value of being involved in their child's education. So it's Dad's Take Your Child to School Day. We had proclamations from the school district, from the city of Fort Pierce, from county commissioners, from Representative Larry Lee. This movement began last year out of recognition about the power of male involvement in the education of all of our students. A dad who actively participates in the educational and social development of a child is invaluable and irreplaceable. Statistics show these findings, and that when dads and men are regularly and substantially involved in their children's education and their social needs, that they have higher test scores, higher grade point averages, higher attendance rates, higher graduation rates, and they just are set up for life. And they also have lower rates of suspension, expulsion, and arrest. So as one goes up, the other goes down. And so I wanted to bring that to the attention of the board, and we've got information out as well. Last year we had approximately 3,000 dads and male caregivers participate in our schools. And this doesn't really honor just dads, but we want to support them, and we want to keep this movement, not have a movement, not just a moment. And so I wanted to bring that to your attention, and we've been publicizing that, and thank Dr. Perry and Ms. Patrick for their efforts as well.
Thank you, Superintendent Gent. We'll begin our updates with Mr. Ingersoll.
No update.
Okay. Ms. Hawley. Ms. Hilson.
Just briefly, I want to mention the Wellness Committee met today, and there's good and wonderful things happening with our new wellness person, Stacy. I can't even begin to tell you. She has just packed information in an hour, all the different things going on in the schools, with teachers, with different exercise programs. One of the biggest issues we have to consider is the diabetes rate, which is sky high among our employees, and of course that causes other problems that are secondary, heart problems and circulation problems and many different things. So it's a great committee, and I think we're going to move forward, and you'll see some great opportunities for our community, our staff. Thank you.
Ms. Hensley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. You've all received a flyer on Lights On After School from the After School Alliance. I would ask that you put that on your calendar. I think we'll have Ms. Harrison maybe kind of coordinate so we can make sure both places are covered, so we can hear the feedback that comes from the parents. That's not till October 22nd. Also, tomorrow morning there's a Parent Academy event. I'm sure there'll be quite a few people there. The unfortunate thing is Miss Erdley's husband passed away this week, but so there will be kind of a sadness with that, but it's a wonderful event, and it's another chance for the Parent Academy to highlight some of the great things going on in St. Lucie County Public Schools. The Children's Services Council, we had our hearing and our budget. For those of you who've been around a while, you know that sometimes they have been more than exciting. We were able to increase some funding to our funded programs, and we actually had no speakers attend our public hearings, which was kind of refreshing. The Hands, I was at Hands again today, and they have boxes and boxes and boxes of toothbrushes, little kids' toothbrushes, and toothpaste ready to be put in packages for our 5,000 plus kids who will be seen this year. And that's a very, very successful program, and we have data now that show the 5-year span of what's happened with those kids. The kids that first got checked, and some of them were in pre-K at the time. they're getting checked again, and we can follow that to see what that does, as well as how it impacts the child as a whole, and it's being very successful.
And Ms. Hensley, we would be amazed to see how many kids on a preschool level, mouth is full of cavities. And we had the opportunity as a preschool to have hands come and work with our children, and was just absolutely amazed at some of the children's mouths, and that they already needed very bad dental help. So we're very thankful for the HANDS program that's out there. I attended a non-instructional staff, support staff meeting workshop that was held this past Saturday, September the 14th. It was an all-day long workshop on a Saturday for our employees here. It was held at St. Lucie County, it was held at IRSC in St. Lucie West. And we had about 60 employees that attended on a Saturday. I was very impressed with the room being so full. We had breakfast and lunch was served and prepared by our own chef, Lewis, and St. Lucie West Centennial High School Culinary Department. And the workshop, the participants experienced a workshop called True Colors Training that helped them to understand their personalities and how to deal with others who are not like themselves. And I think that's a trait that it's a good trait to have, you know, because everybody, as we saw tonight, we don't think like one another. So our employees had the experience of going through that workshop, also how to be assertive without being aggressive. And so it was a great workshop. I want to give special thanks to CTA and Ms. Vicki Rodriguez for putting together such an informative and educational workshop free of charge to our employees and our support staff. And, you know, I want to thank the support staff for showing up on a Saturday and being so enthused about wanting to have training to help with the scope of their job skills as well. We all know how important our support staff is. We know that they're the ones that most parents, they're the first ones that they see, first ones that our children see in a day, even down to the telephone. They're the ones that pick up the phone, and you know, and it's important when another person on the other phone is listening to the place they called, that they get a welcoming voice, someone that seems to care. So I'm just very excited about what CTA has done. Instead of pointing the fingers and finding fault, they have joined in as a family, and they're there for not just the teachers, but for all employees. Thank you again for your diligence in what you're doing, Ms. Rodriguez. We know that our superintendent established some clear goals and priorities for us, and that's teaching and learning, talent, development and growth, caring and safe schools, and communication, community engagement, and customer service. And so I bring back the report that it was a tremendous training, and we're doing just that. Coupons for classrooms, we already heard from our director from the Education Foundation. Just want to hold the book up again. Our schools are working diligently to get these books sold, and it's a great success going on. And we will do it up until Friday. Friday is the last day, so parents, as you see this book, your child brought one of these books home. We're asking you to please return it or either purchase the book. Look through it because it's got some dynamic 50% type coupons that we all can enjoy this year. Okay, seeing that there is no unscheduled speakers.
Just one, I left one thing out. It's another plug for
Okay.
Big Brothers Big Sisters. The Bowl
Okay.
for Kids' Sake is this Saturday at the St. Lucie Lanes, and we'll have a couple teams out there participating in that.
Great. Okay, seeing that there are no unscheduled speakers to come before us this evening, we are going to end our meeting with a reminder of our mission statement. The mission of St. Lucie County Schools is to ensure that all children graduate from safe and caring schools, equipped with the knowledge, skills, and desire to succeed. Our next board member meeting will be held October, was that the 1st? It's kind of a little confusing to me. When is the next board meeting? The 13th, okay. October the 13th at this time. Good night to all, and we are adjourned.